This is a Minnesota Lynx special report. The Minnesota Lynx have called a news conference at their Mayo Clinic Square headquarters in downtown Minneapolis for a major announcement. Large contingent of Minnesota media on hand, along with multiple national outlets, all to hear Lindsay Whalen announce the end of her playing career. Inside Mall of America studio, welcome to this Minnesota Lynx special report. Minnesota's favorite daughter is about to make it official, ending her WNBA playing career. Lindsay Whalen will tell the media today that she will end her career at the end of this season. She first caught our attention as a high schooler at Hutchinson, later went on to playing fame at the University of Minnesota, and then 15 years in the WNBA. What a ride it's been. She's been a part of more wins than any player in WNBA history, 322 and counting. Six-time All-Star, a force on all four of the Lynx championship teams. The Lynx career leader in assists, Whalen named to the WNBA's top 20 at 20 as well. Lynx have won 70%, a little over 70% of their games since Lindsay arrived by trade back in 2010. After a playoff appearance this season, Lindsay Whalen moves on to her next chapter as head coach of the women's basketball team at the University of Minnesota, a program she helped put on the map as a player. Lindsay took the job last April, signing a 5-year contract. During her 4-year run as a Gopher player, attendance increased almost tenfold, and the program made its first ever Final Four appearance. Marnie Gellner, the longtime voice of the Minnesota Lynx here on Fox Sports North, sets the scene now at Mayo Clinic Square.
We're pretty much just awaiting the guest of honor here at Mayo Clinic Square. The media has gathered. Lindsay's family is in the front row. Her mom, her sister and brother, her dad is here. Her teammates will be here as well to show their support. Rebecca Brunson is already kind of mingling with people. It's one of those days that you knew was going to come eventually, but as a Minnesota basketball fan, you just kind of hoped it really wouldn't, that we could somehow just stall it or stop time. But this is the day that Lindsay will announce that she'll be done playing after this season. And she's moving on to a new chapter in her life as the head coach of the Golden Gophers women's basketball team, her alma mater. So that's waiting for her. And she'll be closing this chapter of her life here shortly. So we'll bring you this press conference live as soon as Lindsay Whalen arrives here at the podium at Mayo Clinic Square.
Marnie, thanks so much. Lindsay Whalen, a part of a couple gold medal winning Olympic teams, along with the 4 WNBA championships with the Minnesota Lynx. Lindsay, a consistent contributor in each title. Last year, she returned from a 12-game injury layoff to start all 8 postseason games, highlighted by a 17.8 assist effort in a Game 5 win over the LA Sparks in October. Lindsay's enjoyed the Lynx' remarkable run over the last 7 seasons with 6 trips to the WNBA Finals. Last year, they won their 4th title in the 7-year span, becoming a pro basketball dynasty in the process. Lindsay Whalen about to make it official. Lindsay had thoughts of retirement last March, and Cheryl Reeve, the Lynx head coach, dissuaded her. A 4-hour conversation in Reeve's office allowed Lindsay to make the decision she would play on, something she certainly does not regret. But today, she will announce that she is moving on as a player. Let's head out and hear from the guest of honor, Lindsay Whalen. Here is John Foke, the radio voice of the Wolves.
Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Foke, the radio play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Lynx, and we want to thank those of you that are here in attendance, those watching on Fox Sports North, NBA TV, online at lynxbasketball.com, and those listening across the Minnesota Lynx radio network. Today, we are here to honor a legend in the game of basketball, someone who's defined what it means to be a Minnesota Lynx, both on the court and off the court, and someone who's inspired a new generation of basketball players here in the state of Minnesota. Lindsay Whalen is here to announce that at the conclusion of the 2018 season, she'll step away from playing in the WNBA. Lindsay will retire not only as one of the best point guards that this league has ever seen, but also as the winningest player in WNBA history, 322 wins and counting to her credit. And she's led the Lynx to 4 championships, captured 2 Olympic gold medals, and will leave this franchise as the leader in assists while ranking 2nd in games played and 4th in scoring. The Hutchinson, Minnesota native has racked up an impressive resume, including being named to 6 All-Star games, 13 playoff appearances, 8 of which have ended in the WNBA Finals, and she'll finish up 3rd all-time in assists. Lindsay was also the first player in league history to score 3,000 points, grab 1,000 rebounds, and dish out 1,000 assists in her career. In addition to all of that, she was named to the league's top 20 at 20 back in 2016, which honored the 20 best players in the history of the WNBA. The accolades go on, and we couldn't be more proud to honor Lindsay Whalen here today. We'll tip off today's press conference with a few words from Lynx head coach and general manager Cheryl Reeve. Then we'll hear from Lindsay Whalen, and then we'll open things up to questions from the media.
I thought I'd make it a little bit longer.
My mom's right here, so it's hard not to.
This front row,
Front rows.
I just feel, like as Lindsay knows, just so lucky to have been able to be a part of such a special career, such a special individual. All of you all know this. Look at the turnout. There's a reason why people have turned out the way that they have. This story, the Lindsay Whalen story, going back, to H-Town, the original H-Town. I wasn't around for that, but I've heard so much. I have met so many people from Hutchinson that absolutely adore Lindsay Whalen, the Whalen family. Everyone knows you, whether you realize it or not. Everyone wants to be a part of Lindsay Whalen, and so I've met so many along the way. And then, her ability to go to Connecticut and make so many fans, and then, think about it. If you could write your career, Lindsay had a chance to come back to her home state and win 4 championships, and then along the way become the head coach of the University of Minnesota. I don't know that you could write a better story, a better script, and it couldn't have happened to a better person. And I feel so blessed to have been on the sideline and had such a great seat throughout all of that.
Yeah, well, thank you all for coming here today. Thanks, Folky. That was a nice introduction. Very nice. Shout out to Folky, 2017 Sportscaster of the Year. Big hand for John.
It's a great assist.
Congratulations,
Lindsay.
John. Yeah, and shout out to 4 championships. We've done it together, Coach. So it's been obviously. As you said, to be able to come back here and play in my home state for this part of my career has been, I don't think anything we could have imagined when you guys pulled the trigger on that trade, gave up a #1 draft pick to bring me back here. So, I hope it's worked out. I feel like it has. I feel like it's gone fairly well.
2010, we weren't sure.
2010, right? Exactly. I was in that little dip in my career, but you believed in me, and you believed in what I could do, and you, along with Glenn and Roger, I can't thank you guys enough, and can't thank you for this amazing ride that we've been on, because it's like you said, you couldn't have scripted it any better. I just a couple thank yous. First of all, to the Connecticut Sun, to Chris Yanko, to Mike Tebow, for drafting me, believing in me. Fourth overall in that draft class. 2004, maybe the best draft class ever. Brunson, I would say. A lot better than 06. But yeah, I had some really good times out there, met a lot of great people. We made it to 2 finals, and then obviously we never got over the hump there in Connecticut, though. And I think, starting with a lot happened that year in 2010 when we all kind of came together in this really cool time in our lives. what's later? I mean, 6 finals in 7 years and 4 championships. That year, we got Becky from Sacramento. Moan was coming back, so she was ready to go, and we were just bad enough in 2010 that we got Maya. So we were good, but we were just bad enough that we got Maya, and it worked out really well. It worked out really well.
That was the plan.
And then a couple years later, it was nice that we got Sil, and so we brought her along. And it's been good, still it's been fun. It's been really good. So yeah, I mean, just playing with you guys and Maya, Becky, Moan, still for the last bunch of years, that's absolutely what, I'll miss the most of playing is just, there's nothing better than on the road, game planning and sticking together and working hard, and then sitting in the locker room talking about all the ups and downs and different things. And most nights we come out on top, and most nights we've done that. And so yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for bringing me on that, and we've done it together, and that's been the best part is been doing it with you guys. That's that's I mean, as a player, that's why you want to play. That's why you want to play is for that. The championships and all that. I feel like that kind of comes when you genuinely care for each other, and I feel like that's what our group has done for all these years. Starting with Coach, and then the rest of our staff. I mean, Jim P is here. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Jim P texted me that, I think, every day for a couple seasons when it's been hard, and really that helped me get through a lot of different times. Because it's true. It's true. Once you've won and once you know what it takes, you never count a group out that's done it and done it so well like we have. James, Walt, Shelley, Eddie P. It's been you guys have taught me so much about the game and so much about how to be a professional and get better and all those things. So I'm obviously extremely grateful to you guys, and just thankful for the time that we've all had to spend together and get better and work hard. To the fans, thank you. I mean, it's been 15 great years, some great years of college. So in the state, it's been a wild ride, and I feel like we've done it together. Really, I feel like we've done it together as not only our group but as the fans, and from filling Williams Arena when I played to now packing Target Center on a nightly basis. Last year in the finals, Williams Arena, 14,000 people. I mean. We said it when we wanted to get that number 1 seed last year. I was like, if we can get it to Williams in that Game 5, I was like, I don't think we can be beat. I think we'll absolutely win our 4th, and to have that come true is very cool. And our fans have been just as much of a part of this as I feel like all we have, and so we're extremely thankful to everyone who's come out. To my husband, who is on the golf course right now. Appreciate all of his support throughout the years. The membership dues at our golf course just came through the other day. No, he's playing. He's playing in the U.S. Am. It's pretty cool. He's been trying to qualify for this tournament since he was a freshman in high school, so he finally made it and broke through. This is a tournament that Jack Nicklaus has won. Tiger has won, I think, twice. So the all-time great. So he's pumped. It's at Pebble Beach. So, yeah, he's on the course. But, I mean, he's followed me all over the world, from Connecticut to Ekaterinburg, Russia, to all over the world. And so I'm extremely thankful for him following me through, through thick and thin, through all the ups and downs of a career. Lastly, to my family, some of them are sitting here. It's pretty crazy when we were talking last night just about the crazy places we've been, what we've been able to do because of basketball. And when you're in 10th grade and you're sitting there after a basketball game and talking it over, and just, the same thing, the woulda, coulda, shouldas of a game, you never think it's going to turn into this. But if you work hard enough and you're around the right people, it really can. And so a lot of those nights were spent over Burger King Whoppers. I don't know if they have this anymore, but we had this gold card. You remember this, Dad, the gold card? So you could get 2-for-1 Whoppers at Burger King. And so before I had my license, my dad would usually hang out and wait till, bring me home and most nights, I mean every game, we would drive through Burger King and get the 2-for-1 Whopper. Shout out to Burger King. Tom, So Tom, you were there. You were 4, 3. You were there. Tom, my brother's been to every game. He's been to. We were talking last night about in Ohio State when I broke my hand for the first time. Fittingly today, I sprained my finger, so we had a good X-ray this morning on my finger. So fittingly, it always comes full circle. Anyway, but no, back to Burger King. Just sitting around the table talking about games and whatnot. That's really what it's about, and it's it ends up sometimes in championships and Olympics and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's why you play, is for the relationships and the fun. And I know you guys have been through it all. You want to say anything, Mom? You good? But love you guys and thank you. I know some of my other brothers and sisters, they're working and all over the country, so they're probably watching on NBA TV though. So yeah, thank you. That's it.
All right, thank you, Lindsay and Cheryl. And now we're going to open it up for questions from the media. As a reminder, this is being broadcast live, so we've got microphones throughout. Just make sure that you identify yourself and your affiliation beforehand. We'll start with Kent. Kent? Or Jim?
Actually, Jim Suhan from the Star Tribune. Lindsay, you win the 4th title at Williams Arena. Can you take us through your thoughts on retirement from that moment up until when you finally decided to retire? And was that yesterday?
I mean, I feel like a lot of this season, I kind of, felt like this was probably going to be my last. Yeah, I mean, after we won, it was, so 6 finals in 7 years and winning our 4th, it's like climbing that mountain is really, and it's hard. Well, it's why you do it, because that's why it's so special when it happens, because you know how hard it is. And so, there was different times this off season when I, kind of felt like, can I give? What can I give? What, how much more can I give? And so, I had a lot of conversations with family and with coach, just about, there was a point I was definitely like, I kind of feel like I'm ready to retire. But coach reminded me of all the amazing times that you have with your teammates. And so once I kind of sat back and thought, like, yeah, I would get to have one more year with Maya, Becky, Moan, Sil, and the rest of everybody. But having one more year with those guys was, it was just, having those memories and those feelings would have been too much to pass up. And we talked the other day, and like, you never want to have regrets, and so I don't have any regrets, because I got to spend like one more year with coach and one more year with these guys. And and then I think just throughout the season, I knew that this was probably going to be it, even before I took the coaching job, but then just realizing everything that it takes to do is, you're head coach and a point guard of a WNBA championship team. It's a lot. And so I think at certain times I've realized that, doing it probably more than one season probably wouldn't be possible. And so then we came to today. It was August 13th. At 1:30, it felt right, the 13th. Shout out to Aaron Freeman for that one.
John Krasinski with The Athletic. Lindsay, you accomplish so much on the court, obviously, and when you're winning your titles and you're having fun with your teammates and things, but what has it been like, I guess, to be so responsible for the popularity of the women's game, of basketball in general in this state? There are a million little girls who grow up wearing number 13 and trying to be like Lindsay. What's it been like to experience that and to see the looks on faces that you get at the arena, out in the town and in the community?
Yeah, I think it's something that we've, me being from here, adds a little more, but I think it's something that we've all accomplished together on any of the teams that I've been on. And it's just, when you put a really good group together, I think it's, not only really good people, but really talented people, both at the U and here. It's amazing what you can do together, and it's pretty amazing, what we've been able to do for women's basketball and basketball in the state. And so, it's something that I'm definitely honored to be a part of and really proud of, and hopefully for a lot of years, Lynx and Gophers, we keep that going.
And high post hoops, Lindsay, mentioned the impact that you've had in the state.
You had a very nice tweet today, Mike. You had a very nice tweet today. You were a junior in high school when you started watching me, right?
Yes.
Thanks for your support.
When I heard about the Final Four run, yes. But on that note, what do you hope that the teammates sitting in the front row, your future players at Minnesota, and all of these folks John mentioned who want to be the next Lindsay Whalen, what attributes, what do you hope they take from you to continue growing this sport?
I mean, I think just, first it starts with the work, and it starts with what you put in your off season, your off time. I mean, I think I saw AJ and Andy were working out here as I, got here today. I mean, it's putting in the work, it's putting in the extra time, and so depending on like what your goals are and where you want to get to, it's all about like how much work you put in and how good you want to get at your craft. And so for us, it's playing basketball, so it's doing all those things, and so I just think if you put that time in, you put that work in, you put that extra effort in, then if you wind up to be fortunate enough to be put in the right situation, a lot of really cool things can happen. So, but it starts with everything you do when you're not like at practice, you're not at a game. It's all about those little things, and just work, and I guess you just never know what can happen.
Lindsay, did Mike Max back here from WCCO Radio and TV, did you feel emotionally tired this year as you tried to balance? I got to get that recruiter. I'm thinking about what was more demanding, the physical toll or the mental toll of trying to do both?
At times there's a lot of things that I've learned this year that, because I've never been a coach before, that I have to do that, or I have to. Recruiting's obviously a huge part, and so, but there's just so many responsibilities that I just didn't have before, because in my other years I would practice and you just, you get ready for the next day, and you're recovering or whatever it is, and a lot of days that, it's just because of the demands on both that there hasn't been as much of that downtime, I think. And then, I think everybody right now in the WNBA, this season has been so compact. You see, people, it's what it is this season. A lot of teams are fighting different, fatigue, whether it's mental or physical. So I think there's, maybe a little more, for me, just because it's been a different routine for me this year. But, every team's kind of going through it too because of just the way the season has gone. It's been really compacted, so, yeah.
Lindsay, Pat Borsey here with ESPNW. Just in the last few weeks, your Gopher team is over in Italy. They had some practice time before they headed over there. How much were you able to get over there and actually work with them? And while you were trying to juggle playing, did that in any way really kind of crystallize your decision that maybe doing both was asking a bit much?
Well, yeah, see, before they left for Italy, they allow you to have 10 practices. So I was able to go to, I think, 2 or 3 of those. And so, yeah, obviously it's different when you're doing a practice and going to coach a practice. That's a big day. That's a lot. So, but I was able to get over there when I could, and just kind of juggling, when, trying to be responsible, when to like rest so I'm able to play, or when to, not go over there and necessarily, use all my energy if we have a game the next day or whatnot. That, it's a juggle. It's what it is when you have 2 jobs. So, and so yeah, they're in Italy right now. We won, and they've been eating a lot of good pasta and gelato, so it's going very well.
Pat, one of the things that Lindsay has said, that her decision to retire is not because she has a second job. The feelings that she was having, even if she didn't have the University of Minnesota to go to coach at, there was still the feeling of, this could be her last year, and that's something. So I don't, I want to caution people about writing that it's because of her second job. That was not. Kind of how this came to be. And I just, I think for her, again, if you could write, the players that are transitioning, that are going to be transitioning from playing into their next life, you can't have a more perfect situation. That the timing with which that maybe Lindsay thought that maybe she would be done playing, that you could transition right away into a much bigger paycheck than what she got as a WNBA player.
Lindsay, Tyler Mason with The Athletic. Have you allowed yourself, maybe now that you're thinking about retirement or retiring, to kind of look back at everything you've accomplished and kind of think about what it all means in the big picture?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. We just played last night, so we were trying to beat Seattle. And we were right there until they hit those 3 threes. So now we're just focused on that. I mean, and we play Chicago tomorrow. So, I mean, to be honest, it was – I mean, I think there'll be time for that. But, I mean, at the same time, we have 3 games this week. And then, like I said, never underestimate the heart of a champion in the playoffs. So we have that push as well. So, no, I mean, yeah, today a little bit, mostly because Foki has been just announcing stats and whatnot. But other than that, I haven't really tried to pay attention. And other than Mike tweeting me, I haven't thought about it that much.
Sloan Martin with The Athletic. Lindsay, you talk about being on the road and those kind of moments, but is there one in particular you can pinpoint that really holds a special place for you throughout your career?
I would probably say every time we just, like, knowing how hard it is to win a championship, like, every time we won, just having that unbelievable feeling that, like, you did it. You know, I mean, we went 2015, all 5 games, 2016, all 5 games, 2017, all 5 games. And just understanding that since 2011, you know, every team we've had a target on our back, and to still be able to sustain the level of play that we've had for all these years, to have as hard of a loss of a series in 2016 and then to come back for 2017. So I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably say 2017 was probably my favorite moment, just because we lost something in 2016. I mean, we had home court advantage, and, you know, LA beat us, give them credit, but for us to be able to come back and then beat them, you know, having that resolve after all these years to come back and still do that was pretty special. It was great. It was a great finish.
Kent Youngblood from the Star Tribune. When you've stepped away from this for a while and you're looking back, are you going to remember the games, or are you going to remember the people you met along the way?
Yeah, definitely the people. I mean, I think back to college, and I remember, like, a couple games, but you just remember your teammates and you remember the people. So, I mean, that's what this is all about at the end anyway. I mean, it's about, yes, winning and winning championships and all those things, but it's the people that you can impact and the people you can be around, and us being leaders in the community and role models. That's what it's about for the next generation and the next group. And so, but yeah, no, it's definitely the people, because that's what you'll be able to reminisce and have those memories forever. So, like I said, when I look back at I'll remember a couple plays, couple games, but, you know, you mostly remember hanging out with J-Mac and whatnot, and I'll do the same thing with, you know, Maya and Becky and Moan and everybody. So that'll be what you remember mostly, is just hanging out with your teammates.
Jim Suhan, Star Tribune. Lindsay, why did you decide to announce this today? Just to get it out of the way so it wasn't hanging over at the end of the season?
We tried to pick the most humid day of the year.
Nice work.
To bring everybody out of their houses and show this luxurious air-conditioned Mayo Clinic practice facility that we have. No, I mean, it's very nice in here. The air conditioning is very nice. No, I think we kind of talked. We talked about it. We thought, you know, maybe August 13th would be good. And once we threw the dart at the dartboard and it hit August 13th, at that point there was no turning back.
So this is one of those moments it's hard for Lindsay to express that. This is something I asked of Lindsay to think about. You know, if this was going to be, how does she want it to look? And I think, you know, it's kind of crazy how it turns out, right? We get to go to Connecticut, you know, the team that drafted her, get a chance to, you know, be acknowledged by those fans. And then I think, you know, if it was, you know, and maybe I coaxed her into this a little bit, but a chance for our fans to know, you know, that, you know, while they might think certain things, but to give an opportunity here at Target Center on Sunday to know that it's possibly, hopefully the players that are sitting out here saying, no, we're going to be back at the Target Center, but possibly for sure the regular season finale of Lindsay Whalen's career, and give our fans a chance to show Lindsay how much we've appreciated her career and how special she's been to this franchise. And so many of our fans came over from the University of Minnesota, became women's basketball fans because of Lindsay's time at University of Minnesota, and therefore became huge Lynx fans. And so we just thought it was appropriate and for Lindsay to kind of sort of take a bow with her fans.
Susie Jones, WCCO Radio, personal friend of Lindsay's. Just kidding. Who is the favorite person? Who is your favorite?
I wonder where Sid was.
Who is your favorite Lynx player?
She's asking you, I think.
Oh, it was for me?
Yeah, that's you.
I had a side note on why we chose August 19th. I'll answer that. I'll go back to that. It's my sister Annie's birthday. And we wanted to give her one last birthday basketball present. She's going to love that. Annie and Thomas, my youngest two brothers and sisters, have been dragged to like every gym in I don't know how many years. And Tom loved it. Annie got to a point where she just stopped coming. She's not a basketball fan. I mean, she's a fan, but she isn't. So we thought we'd give her one last August 19th birthday party at a Lynx game. Anyway.
She's avoiding the question, Susie.
All right, that concludes today's press conference. We want to thank everybody who joined us here and everybody who tuned in across all the various media platforms. We will have Coach Reeve and Lindsay Whalen available for scrum questions coming up at the conclusion. And don't forget, coming up after the game, August 19th, we will have a ceremony to celebrate Lindsay. So we thank you all for coming today.
A classic Lindsay Whalen conversation that moved from hamburgers in her hometown of Hutchinson to WNBA memories, that dry humor on display. Lindsay Whalen is not comfortable in the spotlight, and yet that's where she shines. She's a humble individual, happy to defer, and that's what you get from the Lynx all-time assist leader. What you see is what you get with Lindsay Whalen. We certainly have learned that. Minnesota's first girls' state high school basketball tournament didn't arrive until the 1970s. Since then, we've witnessed continued growth in female athletes in our state. Lindsay Whalen may be the best example of what can be accomplished in sports once given an opportunity. A proven winner who revitalized the Gopher women's basketball program, took them to the Final Four, struck gold twice in the Olympics, went on to win 4 WNBA titles with the Lynx. A winner from start to finish. Lindsay Whalen using that humor to control her emotions today. Cheryl Reeve, certainly emotional and thankful, as she said, for being part of the Lindsay Whalen story. One wonders if Cheryl Reeve didn't want Lindsay Whalen around as well this year to maybe assist as Lindsay launches her career as a head coach. Lindsay Whalen's someone who pays attention to those type of things, the proverbial player coach on the floor, but this season offered an opportunity for the two to talk about situations and a variety of other things. Very close, and again, you could see that in the emotions of Cheryl Reeve here this afternoon. So, as a head coach with limited experience, this was a no-brainer for the Gopher basketball program, signing her to a 5-year contract. Lindsay, who enjoys tweeting, you get that feeling, is following her team in Italy during the time they're playing. Here were the details on the contract for a program that Lindsay Whalen, not personally, but among just a few players that helped turn things around in the years 2000 to 2004 when attendance increased nearly tenfold. She brought them to the Final Four. It's official. Lindsay Whalen announcing her retirement from the WNBA effective at the end of this season. That's just a matter of a few weeks. More coverage to come. We'll hear from Lindsay Whalen when we return. Lindsay Whalen making it official at a news conference just moments ago at Mayo Clinic Square in downtown Minneapolis. A news conference that was televised, of course, by us on Fox Sports North, also nationally and internationally. It shows you the importance and popularity of Lindsay Whalen to the WNBA. Lindsay joking during the news conference that the trade in 2010 that the Lynx made, she said she hopes that things worked out for Minnesota. 4 WNBA titles later, I think things worked out very well. Her teammates call her Way, as does Marnie Gellner, who's with Lindsay Whalen right now.
This team does everything as a group. We ask for Lindsay Whalen, we get Lindsay Whalen, Sylvia Fowles, and Simone Augustus. How appropriate. But this press conference, I thought, was vintage Lindsay. Yes. Like, that was you up there. Did this go the way that you had hoped it would go today?
Yes, it did. It went, I thought it went good. I thought it went spectacularly.
Same.
I knew when I put on my blue dress today in Lynx colors that it was going to be a good day.
I followed you.
Thank you, Jeezy.
Weezy, you know what kind of surprised me? That you did not get emotional at all. I don't know if you could see Cheryl beside you. There were times where she was deep breathing. Yeah. She was going to the water bottle. She was really emotional. Did you feel emotion today and just didn't show it?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and everything, but no, I feel like I've been pretty okay with this decision for a while, and so I just wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to have as much, I guess, fun with it as possible, and I don't know, it's been an up and down season, and so we have a game tomorrow, so I was just kind of trying to keep my end a little more lighthearted. That's my personality anyways, and just yeah.
Did you see Cheryl?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Did that surprise you?
No, not from coach. Not from coach. She's emotional, and she wears her heart on her sleeve, so I knew that she would probably be emotional, and so I told her we just have to make jokes up there and we'll get through it.
Well, one of you did.
Yeah.
When you walked in, I could see you kind of scan the room. And what did it mean for you to see Sil and Simone and then the entire back half of people that weren't even in the chairs looking back at you, here for you? What did that support and all those faces mean to you?
Yeah, that was probably the most overwhelming part, and the best part was just to see, to see my teammates. It's their off day. We just had a tough one last night, so it really meant a lot, and so I said that's why we've been able to do everything we've been able to do together, just because that's just kind of how we roll. And so yeah, it was definitely a cool feeling, a cool moment.
Stay here long enough for me to ask these two just a question about you, because I want to know, we know Lindsay, the player. We see the player, we hear these press conferences and things. You guys see the person that you travel with, that you laugh with, that you go through the hard times, the great times. What have you guys learned, Sil, about Lindsay, the person, the friend? What is she like?
Very charismatic. She's just a loving person, and I don't think you can get that in too many people who's just willing up themselves, and they just want you to come out and be better on a daily basis, and that's what Lindsay give us. And so I'm just happy.
And now she's willing up.
I know.
I'm just happy to have this opportunity with Lindsay. Not everybody have that opportunity, and like I told Lindsay, this has been the best 3 seasons of my life, just because of her. Everybody brings something different, but Lindsay brings a lot to the team, and she's like our quarterback. You better not go.
Simone had to look away.
Well, Simone, you've known Lindsay longer than anyone because you were here when she came, and you guys have been through so much. How do you describe the years that you've spent playing with her?
Just a fierce competitor, a great person. We laugh all the time, like you said. That was vintage Weezy, like her sense of humor that sometimes people don't see because you see her as a basketball player all the time. But, we pass Instagram messages just like laughing amongst each other. But like I've always said, like it's a sister feel. Like that's my sister from another mother, type situation. And I'm just thankful that I had an opportunity to experience some great moments in her career here in Minnesota. Just seeing her come back back to Minnesota and having the impact that she's had here, you know, with the young ladies coming in with your jerseys on and, you know, the fans of the U of M wearing their maroon and gold. Like, it's just been amazing to see the impact that she's had on changing the culture of women's basketball here.
What's the next week going to be like? You know, you at least have 3 games, then you have playoffs, wherever that takes you and however long it is, and you know this is it. These are your final moments on the court. For you and for the two of you, what is this week going to be like, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, first, I mean, we have 3 games. We're in the thick of a race. So, I mean, I think, you know, hopefully the fans come out and, I mean, not only it's the last couple regular season games for me, but just, I mean, we need that little extra punch and that little extra boost. But then, like I said, once we get to that playoff time, I mean, there's just something about this team. So we're going in, I don't know, absolutely leaving it all out there for sure. And we're going to go in and see what happens. But, you know, I wouldn't want to play us if I was another team in this situation. So we'll be ready to go.
You guys going to try to freeze frame moments at all? Play it any differently, knowing that you won't be playing with 13 after this?
Leave it all out there. I mean, that's what Weezy's career has been on. Like, you can go from her Connecticut days to now. Like, she's always been a player that left it all on the floor. So these are the last 3 games, and then, you know, the playoffs, we're going to do it in Weezy fashion, which is we're going to leave it out there on the floor. And like I've been saying, like, my little quote this year has been, what is for us will not pass us. So if it's meant for us to do great things this year, we will. But we're going to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make that happen.
Really rode around that saying by Moan, and I mean, it's been great. I mean, Moan gave probably one of the most inspirational before Game 5 last year speeches I've ever heard, and I mean, other than the 14,000, that was what she said stuck with us all, and that's the reason why we won last year. And so she's had this saying, this quote, this mantra for the last probably like month, and I fully believe it. So we just have to, you know, go out there and do it and leave it out there.
One big push, one last push.
That's right.
Thanks, you guys. Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles, Lindsay Whalen. I want you to know, I mean, I have covered you since...
Yeah, easy.
I have covered you since 2003.
I know.
And I've got photographic proof, but along the way, we have, and everybody's just scattered now because this is your moment, but we've become friends.
Our moment.
Okay.
This is our moment, Jeezy.
I have admired you for so long as a player and a competitor and all of those things, and then I got to know you as a person and a friend, and I just think the world of you. You're one of my favorites, and I can't wait to see what our 2-man show looks like when you finally cut down on your jobs and we can finally put some together.
And I can't wait to do it because we're making this happen. It's going to be a morning TV show, I think. Jeezy and Weezy. The Jeezy and Weezy show. We've already got this all planned from the back of our Timberwolves charter flights for the FSN days. For real, this is gonna happen.
Well, this closes this chapter, but I know you got another one over at the U. You're gonna have a lot of Golden Gopher fans, including me, including a lot of our Fox Sports North viewers. So we are behind you. We are wishing you nothing but more success in your life.
Jeezy, have you gotten season tickets for the Gopher women's basketball team?
Maybe we can work on that in a minute.
Sounds good.
Not yet. Do you have a connection?
I do.
All right, what a day. Lindsay Whalen goes out in Wheezy style. Couldn't have written it any better. Number 13.
Thanks, Marnie. Always promoting an emotional day for Lindsay Whalen and all of those who call her friend. And boy, that is a large group of people. Any one of us that have spent time with Lindsay Whalen feels exactly that way. More to come on the day that Lindsay Whalen makes it official, ending her playing career at the end of the Lynx season.